Can we have your leftovers, Ma? But when the millionaire looked at them, everything changed. It was midnight. The rain came down hard. Thunder roared like an angry beast, and lightning flashed like the eye of God watching under a broken zinc shed behind the locked shops of Unity Plaza. Two small boys lay curled together on a torn nylon mat. They were shaking not just from the cold, but from hunger. Their stomachs had been empty for 2 days. "Daniel, are you sleeping?" whispered one of them, his voice weak like someone who had cried too long. "No, David," the other replied, his eyes open wide in the dark. "My belly is making noise." "Mine too." "It's talking," David said with a sad smile. They both chuckled quietly. Then silence came again. Daniel and David were just 10 years old, identical twins, thin like broomsticks. Their hair was dusty, their eyes tired. They had no home, no parents, no food, no peace. Their mother had died when they were just 5. She was the only light they had. Their father had left long before she died. No one knew where he went. Some said he was in Ghana. Others said he died in an accident. The twins didn't care anymore. It didn't change anything. They were alone. They had moved from sleeping at the back of one shop to another, chased like rats each time a new security man arrived. Sometimes market women would throw them leftover rice if they were lucky. Other times, all they got were insults. But tonight, even insults didn't come, just rain and hunger. "Daniel, tomorrow, let's try something different," David said slowly. "What?" Daniel asked, sitting up slightly. "Let's go to that big place in town. That fancy restaurant where rich people go. Maybe, just maybe we can beg for food. Not money, just food." Daniel frowned. "They will chase us." "You remember how the last one chased us with a mop?" "Yes, I remember. But let's try again. I'm tired of eating dust and drinking water from sachets we find on the ground. I want to eat real food, even if just once." Chapter 1. The hunger that wouldn't let them sleep. Silence. Then Daniel nodded. Okay, the next morning came with bright sunshine and the smell of fried beans from nearby stalls. The boys washed their faces with rainwater and tried to comb their hair with their fingers. Daniel used an old sash water bag to wipe his brother's cheeks. David wiped his mouth with the bottom of his shirt. They walked 4 hours past schools where children laughed, past shops where mothers bought snacks for their kids, past places that reminded them of what they didn't have. Finally, they reached the big place Rose Gold restaurant. It was in the heart of the city. Glass doors, flowers. On each side, waiters dressed like TV stars. Cars parked outside were so shiny the boys could see their reflections. "Should we really do this?" Daniel whispered. "Yes," David said, his voice firmer than ever. "We're not stealing. We're only asking." They stood by the entrance for 10 minutes. No one noticed them. Or maybe no one wanted to. Then they saw her, a young woman, maybe in her late 20s. She wore a soft pink gown that moved with the wind. Her gold earrings danced in the sun. Her skin was smooth like chocolate, and her smile was the kind that made you want to talk to her. She sat by the window alone, eating jollof rice, plantain, grilled fish, and salad. A cold drink stood beside her plate. "Let's ask her," David whispered. "No, let's wait till she's done. Then we can ask for her leftovers," Daniel said. They waited, watching, hoping. As she picked the last plantain, they walked closer. Their feet were bare, their hands trembled. When she stood up, Daniel rushed forward. His voice broke. "Excuse me, Ma. Please, can we have your leftovers?" She paused, looked at them. "Really?" Looked. Her eyes moved from their feet to their hands, then their faces, and then something changed. Something in her eyes. It was no longer surprise. It was something deeper, like recognition, like pain, like a wound. She thought it healed, but didn't. She stepped closer. "What's your name?" she asked. "I'm Daniel." "And he's David," Daniel replied, trying hard not to cry. "You two are twins?" she asked softly. "Yes, Ma." She looked away briefly, then back at them. "Come with me." The boys looked at each other. Was this a trick? Would she call the security? But they followed her. She didn't take them into the restaurant. She took them into her car, a white SUV that smelled like fresh bread and roses. As she drove, she didn't say a word. The boys sat in, silence, too afraid to speak, too shocked to understand what was happening. But deep down, something in them was beginning to believe. Maybe, just maybe, their story was about to change. Because when the millionaire looked at them, everything changed. The car moved slowly through the city traffic. Inside the SUV, silence filled the air, but it was not the kind of silence that made you afraid. It was the kind that made you wonder. Daniel sat by the window, his small hands on his lap. David sat in the middle, eyes shifting between the driver and his brother. The woman kept her eyes on the road. Her hands held the steering gently, like someone who had done this drive many times. But this time, her face was not calm. Her brows were drawn together, and every now and then she blinked fast like someone trying to hide tears. Daniel cleared his throat. "Ma, where are we going?" She glanced at them through the mirror. Somewhere safe. David's heart raced. "Are you taking us to the police?" "No," she said softly.